Day 2 is in the books for F1 2023, man. Testing. So, who topped it? Zhou, Guano Zhou. Yeah, of course, he set the fastest time on day 2. I mean, it was on the C5s. Mercedes weren't particularly good. Ocon saying Alpine is in a much better place compared to last. Alonso up there. AlphaTauri showing a wee bit of pace. Williams being very consistent with Logan Sargent. Ferrari looking alright. And then Red Bull just looking by far the best team, if I'm being perfectly honest. But again, let's dive into the qualification, the classification. All right, arriba. Anyway, Guan Yu Zhou, I'd like it to actually refuel the tyre compound, but I believe he was C5. I think Verstappen was C3, and I think Alonso was C3, right? But I'm not really surprised by these gaps, if I'm being honest, because you've got Guan Yu Zhou on that tyre. You can't expect him to go top. It was right at the end of the session. For starting, Red Bull looked like... I mean, I don't want to absolutely bury this season before it starts, but it looks like they're starting with like literally the same advantage that they had at the end of last year. And even then, like last year, like I know they were dominant in the races because of Ferrari's tyre issues, but in quality, I mean, Ferrari could fucking got the most poles easily. So again, this is a problem. This is a big problem if Red Bull can fucking dominate over one lap as well. But like I say, Aston Martin, there's a lot of talk in the paddock on Twitter. Ted Kravitz. I mean, they were talking about Alonso like getting loads of podiums this year and potentially race wins, and I was like, keep that coming for Aston Martin, man. That's good. But also that Aston Martin are faster than Mercedes, which I mean, based off the first 2 days, like. You would have to kind of agree, like Mercedes, yes, right, they're doing long runs. I'm under no illusion that they are doing long runs, but they don't look good. Like, you cannot sit here as a Mercedes fan and think confidently, right? And they are kind of the boy who cried wolf, because Russell coming out the day saying they're not going to challenge for victories in Bahrain, but they're hoping to by some point in the season. Kind of defeatist, kind of like last year. But I don't think it looks as bad as last year, but if you look at the actual grid, like, the Mercedes power cards, they almost look like the slowest fucking one out of their own team, which ain't going to happen. I mean, I think the fact that Aston Martin look good says to me that Mercedes have a bit of pace in hand over Aston Martin. Now, here, I would absolutely love for us to rock up next week and Alonso can stick it like P4, P5 on pace rather than like relying on a mistake for the top three. And I truly hope that Mercedes have lost a bit of pace, but I truly hope that, in terms of the actual field, the gap is closed. I really hope that Williams are up there. But again, guys, you take it with a pinch of salt. Alpine turn around saying that they are loving life and they've started way better than last year. I honestly do not see Gasly and Ocon, even though Gasly wasn't even on today, but I really don't see this Alpine. How can it be better than last year? If it was better than last year, they're literally like fucking third. I know he's on about testing, but I'm not got that much hope for Alpine really. Ferrari kind of doing their own thing, not exactly setting the lap times alight, but struggling along there. But if I was to predict the order, it's Red Bull, Ferrari, Aston Martin. That's my top three. Mercedes, they haven't shown their hand, but they look unreliable and they don't look quick. And normally in recent years, it's all been about the pace. And then it's been about reliability. Now this year, fucking no reliability. And it kind of just sums Alonso up. He gets a Mercedes power engine, man, and it's shite. Anyway, that's day 2 wrapped up for you guys. After tomorrow, I'll do a Fed ranking, like what I think the actual order is. And but until all that good stuff, with one more day of testing, so leave your thoughts down below, and peace.